All right. So, this month we are focusing on the Zen Buddhist idea of mindfulness. And we're studying the work of the peace activist and monk Thich Nhat Hanh. The book of our month is The Art of Mindful Living. Today's topic is the art of mindful movement. So last week, we started out and talked about the truth that we are all enough. Just as we are whole. There's nothing that we need to get outside of ourselves to prove that we are worthy. Yet, so much of life is spent chasing something out there to have us feel perhaps fulfilled, right? This is what society may tell us, that we need to chase and get the next right and perfect relationship or the next career milestone in our life. Success, it's always just out of reach if we just, perhaps as the reading says, run fast enough. But what did he tell us? The way out is in. Yes. So that is what we are looking at. Because if we were always running towards a destination, just out of reach, driven by that feeling of unworthiness or not good enough, we will barely take notice of the life that's actually happening in this moment. We aren't truly living, right? So, let me tell you a little story. My daughter Cadence and I love to go hiking, and one of our favorite places locally here is Raven's Run. And this particular hike, we decided to go to the overlook over the river. And we brought our bags with some treats and waters and snacks and journals and such, and had a glorious walk. You know, sometimes I use this app that's like, oh, this is a 30-minute walk or an hour walk. It's always like 2 hours for us because we take our time. We are mindfully walking, noticing the fungi or hearing a sound and spotting the bird. There's a woodpecker that lives back there that we often look for, or deer, if any of you have been there. Certain times of day you can run into them. So mindfully walking, having our adventure in the moment, we reach the destination point and we sit down and relax and take in the beauty, having our snacks and just enjoying the moment. And then this young guy, he's kind of, runs up, he gets there and he's like, oh, wow. This is amazing. Totally worth the hike. Okay. And Cadence and I both just like, what? What? And we laughed. And we're like, oh, okay. So we noticed in that moment the difference, right, of enjoying the moment or rushing for the destination. Cool, I made it. It's cool. Next, and running off. So we sat there and we journaled and we took pictures and she drew a picture of the landscape and various things. And so how often do we live our life this way, right? That's the question. Are we always running towards the next thing, the next overlook, the next wow moment, instead of actually breathing and taking a moment to take it in? If we're always running towards something or perhaps away from something that we don't want to feel or experience, we just keep moving and moving. Are we really present? So what if we chose to walk instead of run through life? What if every step, every breath was a moment of arriving to that which we seek? Thich Nhat Hanh, or Brother Thay, as his community and students call him, was a great teacher of the practice of mindful walking. So mindful walking isn't about speed, it's about presence. It's about being. So whether you're moving through a busy city, walking to your car, going on a nature hike, or just stepping out into a new chapter of your life, what would it be like to practice arriving in every step? Arriving in each moment, whole. Breathe in and feel the ground beneath you. Breathe in, relax in the moment, not thinking about the past or what you need to be doing, perhaps even moving into that timeless state where we're abandon things such as watches or clocks or phones to just be. Letting go of the need to be anywhere else, but simply take in the moment and your surroundings with all of your senses. A beautiful day like this is an opportunity. We can walk outside and be like, the snow, am I safe? Or what? Or we can be like, wow, look at the beauty. Notice the sound and the feel of the crunch of the snow or the ice and as you step down on it. Listen for the sounds of the snowflake hitting the ground. The other day when it was warm and kind of raining, you never know this weather, right? I walked outside with Cadence and I was like, it smells like spring. And she laughed at me. She's like, Mom, it can't smell like a season. And I'm like, well, to me it does. The smell of the rain hitting the asphalt, right? And when it's warmer out, has a very different feeling tone. And I feel it in my whole body with all my senses than a day like this when you walk out and the air is crisp and the sounds are muted by the snow. And it sounds like winter. Not just feels like winter, because Burt, right? Those are the moments we can experience when we fully step into the present moment. Taking in all of our surroundings, activating all of our senses. Because we don't need to just finish the journey in order to be whole. We don't have to reach the summit or the lookout point to find peace. Right here, right now is enough. And the invitation of mindfulness is simple. Stop running from or towards something. Trust the moment and the step you're in. Create your own pace. Because your destination isn't waiting for you at the top of some mountain. It is with you every step. And all of life is an opportunity to practice. There is no end goal, but the more we practice, the more likelihood we have of embodying this practice of mindfulness and living a fulfilled life. The more we practice being mindful and being here now, we stay out of what could have been or should have been or might be, and we come back right here, right now. I am free. I am safe. I am whole. In 1967, Martin Luther King Jr. participated in a march in Chicago protesting the Vietnam War. And just a few months before this, he had met Thich Nhat Hanh. And the two really connected on the ideas of nonviolence and peace and seeing the beloved in all life. So that day, MLK Jr. decided to march with a banner. So remember, Thich Nhat Hanh is Vietnamese. And the banner was in both English and Vietnamese, and it read, "Men are not our enemies. If we kill men, with whom shall we live?" Both leaders shared this idea that other people aren't our true enemies. Instead, our enemies are the resentment, the fear, the hatred, the separation, the discrimination that lives within us. Yet, isn't it so much easier as a human with an ego to want to place blame on another, to express hate on this or that or those people over there? Yet confronting, being willing to confront our own feelings of anger, our own feelings of resentment or fear or doubt or lack, being willing to examine the cultural bias of the society and the narratives that we are constantly being fed about separation and certain people or things better than, less than. If we are willing to examine these things and to get in touch with our inner selves, there is so much more opportunity for peace and for living that fulfilled life. And we can see it today more than ever, right? Some 55 years later, we're still acting like other people are our enemies instead of being willing to confront our own inner demons. And our bodies are always giving us clues. They're letting us know if there's something we're holding on to that needs to be released. Our bodies are letting us know if we are not fully expressing something or saying what needs to be said. Oh, we get a constriction here. We start to feel tension here. Whew. It took me years, y'all, but the more I practice, I was able to now identify certain situations. I'm like, oh, that's anxiety. When this comes right here, that's anxiety in my body. And then question, right? What am I fearing is going to happen, right? Or with a certain phone call or person, text, my body reacts in a certain way. What is my body telling me? Can I get curious? Yet it takes courage, right? It takes courage to be brave enough to notice not only our thoughts, but feel our feelings, express ourselves, and the courage to question the stories and the meaning that we've made of things and allow ourselves to actually feel and move and express ourselves. Our Western culture would have us living like we are little floating heads, right? It values intellectualizing things. It values thinking and knowledge over embodiment, free expression, feeling our emotions all the way through. And those of us, more creative types who are perhaps a little bit more in touch with our bodies and our emotions in this society currently are looked down upon as weird or woo-woo or hippies. I don't know. I can list a whole name of things, radical, weirdo, that I've been called. But hey, you know what? I embrace it. And this is what I know. Our time has come, y'all. All you happy weirdo creatives out there, our time has come. This is the age, yes, of waking up, having the artists and the creatives and the intuitives and the empaths lead us into a new way of birthing the beloved community here and now on planet Earth. We are being led to move away from the culture of rugged individualism, right? I can do it all for myself. And intellectualism. Let me think about it and write the most amazing master thesis on the philosophy of the world. And we are being moved into actually embodying. Not that those things are bad or wrong, right? But a more holistic perspective, moving into community and moving into our bodies. Embracing the wisdom of indigenous cultures from around the world where music and movement are so freely embodied, right? Even in groups of people. Yet in our world and society, we feel uncomfortable to just stand up and move our body a little bit, or to sing if no one else is singing and they might hear us. But think about the cultures around the world who sit in circles and chant and drum and move in times of grief. Allow it to come all the way out, and then have an integration of that so that we can continue living our lives, changed from the experience, but not taken out by trying to suppress it and act like, oh, I'm not sad, it's fine, until our bodies break down, right? What can we learn about healing in the collective? In this context, mindfulness can even be an act of resistance. Mindful movement invites us to get in touch with our bodies, not just our minds, as the key to unlock our true selves and to feel all that we are feeling and to express who we are as spiritual beings having a human experience. Expressing the joy, the anger, the grief, all of it, knowing that this creates a ripple effect around the world. And it gives others permission themselves to express more freely as we begin to bravely do so. So to tell us a little bit more about the art of mindful movement, we have a member of our own community who I've invited to share from her experience on the subject. So Deborah, come on up here. Let me tell you a little bit about Deborah. Give her some love, yes? Now, what you might not know about Deborah is that she has a background in dance, and she worked as a massage therapist. And through this, she realized the power of the mind-body connection. So she decided to further study, getting a master's in movement therapy, which is a therapeutic approach to psychology based on the creative aspect of self-expression being a direct route to what Freud called the id, or the inner self, right? So through this movement therapy, this practice, it allows us to bypass our egoic defense mechanisms and really get in touch with our body and have some deep healing. So, Deborah, take it away.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Rainbow, for that nice introduction. Hello, fellow Ahavians. Hello, all you out there online. I'm so glad that we can be connected still. I see you all sitting here. Yes. So I'm going to pretend I'm looking into all your eyes. So I may have been involved in the mind-body connection most of my life and gone to graduate school, but I believe everybody here has had the experience of recognizing somebody from a distance, too far to see their face, but you can still tell it's them. I'm also going to test that everybody here has become aware of the difference in how children move and how adults move. Children's movement is seemingly unencumbered and unstructured. But have you stopped to consider how and why these things are true? Why is it that we release or constrict movement of our bodies in response to the environment? It is a regulatory system of our emotional and psychological bodies. We experience and identify our emotions, our feelings, through physical sensations. Comfort or discomfort, we have varying forms and levels and unique to everybody, but we identify them through these sensations. And these sensations are feedback to our brain of our environment and our thoughts and their relative homeostasis. When there's risk or threat, there is a physical reaction. We have our built-in natural reaction of fight or flight. That is not always possible. I just heard my sound change. Am I still okay?
Yeah, we have a little feedback. We're just having.
Okay. So I would like to invite everybody here and at home. I can't see what you're doing, so I'm going to trust that you're going to try this out and have this fun experience with me. I would like to demonstrate to you how you make it obvious how you feel this. So if everybody would stand up. Anybody here better do it? You guys at home. Okay, so you're going to put your feet about hip width apart. You're going to put a little bounce in your knee. Feel that ground supporting you. Lift up through your body. Open up through your chest. Raise your chin and say, I am so depressed. You can't even do it. All right, let's try this. Let's try narrowing your stance, kind of dropping your body weight and your head and your shoulders, and say, I'm so happy. Okay, we're switching to mic.
Online, they can't hear you very well.
Okay,
I can hold it for you.
I can hold it.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
Okay, so we're supposed to feel like this.
Yes, you're supposed to stand like this and say, feel it. I'm so happy. Are you so happy?
I'm so happy.
You can't even do it.
That's easier.
So, is it? Well, that's interesting. We can talk about that more. All right. So, thank you very much for experiencing that with me. I appreciate it. So, basically, children are feeling
Oh, yeah.
this close, okay? Okay. So children are feeling the excitement in their bodies and they're allowing its complete expression. Of course, as we age, we're encouraged to redirect these feelings into expressions that are more socially acceptable. If you can't say it in words, so they've cut off the body completely and want you to communicate in words, then at least a more controlled physical expression. We've learned how to resist jumping around all excited and just say, I'm really excited. And you can see the excitement in my body still, but I have restricted my movement. So these the physical sensations that we feel in relation to our emotions or our feelings, if they are unpleasant or uncomfortable, our muscles tense. The tension minimizes and actually blocks the flow of the feelings as originally experienced in the body. Sometimes these blockages can actually cut off our ability to feel. When these patterns of tension get repeated and repeated and repeated through our lifetime, we actually develop physical blockages where there's chronic muscular tension and blood isn't flowing. It can actually create disease. And this is how we recognize people at a distance and by how they carry themselves. Granted, there are other influences like genealogy and modeling parents or caretakers, but we've each developed over our lifetimes our unique patterns of where we block the flow of energy. Now, we at Ahava come together knowing we are divine beings in human form, with the shared belief that we are each a part of source energy, as a wave is a part of the ocean, manifested in physical form, and that energy is vibrational. We all here have means in common of raising energy vibrations that we have found: our song, our connection, meditation, prayer, however it may be for you. And these feelings bring us in touch with feelings of spirituality, a connection to what is, to the source. And these feelings, generally, the physical sensations of them in your body are pleasant. They get us, I think I said this already, they get us in touch with our sense of spirituality, our connection to our inner selves. The trauma and fear we experience in our lifetimes stop us from mindfully connecting with our body to varying degrees in an endless variety of ways. But I believe, I'm guessing, now normally we would have more people here. And that's who I thought I was going to be directing to. And I was going to point out the feeling of love that when we come together in this congregation and we sing and we talk, we develop the feeling that I don't want to even label it because it's different for everybody and everybody feels it differently, but I know each of us feel that and get that here. And it is this feeling that Reverend Rainbow, myself, we would like to encourage, to allow, to embrace, to allow it to surface. It's both rejoicing in your spirituality, it's expressing it, it's allowing what's in your body to move. So at this time, I want to just bring our attention to that feeling. Of course, you're not in it necessarily right now, but go back to the song or Rainbow Talking and give thanks for that feeling and rejoice in it. Please, one more time with me, close your eyes. Feel for a moment or two a breath or two. Soon Rainbow will reintroduce our moment of embodiment and provide us with the opportunity to reconnect to this feeling and allow our authentic movement to unfold. Allow any movement that arises. Any.
Thank you, Deborah. Give her some love.
Thank you.
Yes. So this week we invite you to move mindfully throughout your day. Not just noticing your thoughts, but noticing the sensations in your body. Begin to get curious about the connection between your thoughts, your feelings, and your physical sensations. And if you feel moved to move, then be moved. Yes. Let's take it into prayer. Deep breath. So grateful for all that has transpired. So grateful for the presence of the one life that is love, that is joy, that is peace, that is moving in as and through all of us. And it's with a grateful heart that I speak this word, intentionally embodying this presence of love, intentionally inviting in the joy and the peace of who I am, of the great I am, to move through me, knowing that truly all is well, that in each moment we can show up having already arrived, whole, perfect, and complete. So with great joy and gratitude, I release this word, knowing it is already done. And together we say, and so it is, yes.